Hello， 大家好，我是 Joseph。今天拿这个新的麦到底是要干嘛呢？我们今天来到温哥华的市中心 downtown。今天星期四嘛，现在2点钟，平常上班的时间，温哥华人都在干嘛呢？我们一个去采访他们，走。Henry and George are visiting from UK. Which part of UK?
Battersea. We literally arrived in Vancouver a couple of hours ago.
First time Vancouver?
First time in Vancouver, yeah.
What's your impression so far?
Canadian people are really, really nice.
I think you might change your mind once you visit Calgary. We hear Calgary people are the Boston people of Canada.
Okay.
Thursday is midday. Are you having some time off, taking a break from work?
I study here in UCW.
Are you renting in downtown?
I'm living in Maple Ridge right now.
How long is the commute?
2-hour commute.
2 hours one way.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. Mostly because of the rent?
Yeah, it's because of the pricing, and I was looking for a pet-friendly place.
How much is the rent in Maple Ridge?
1,500, 2-bedroom, basement suite.
How much would the same apartment be in downtown?
2,200 up for one room
bedroom.
only. In my hometown, Querétaro, 400, 2-bedroom.
2-bedroom.
It's very different.
Beautiful day outside, but it's work day. So what's everybody doing?
I'm working.
You're working?
Yeah, but
Oh.
walking my dog at the same time, I
Okay.
guess.
Do you live in the area?
Yeah,
Renting or own?
renting.
How do you feel about the rent market? It's been crazy.
I've got a good landlord. No rent increase for me, so I'm lucky.
So you kind of catch.
Catch-22.
What does that mean?
Catch-22, it's like
Okay.
no matter what you do, it won't work well.
Yeah, so you either pay a really high mortgage, you're getting hit by the interest rate increase,
Exactly.
or you're getting hit by the rent.
No good options.
How come you're not working?
I just got off work. I'm a server at OEB.
This is my question. So what kind of people go have brunch on a weekday? What kind of people do you see?
Mixture. Like people from all around Vancouver. It's very popular, so.
But why don't they have to work? That's what I need to know.
We're definitely more busy on the weekends. I don't know why they don't have to work.
Vancouver people like lining up for brunch.
They love it.
So do you live in downtown Vancouver?
I live in Mount Pleasant area.
Renting or own?
Renting.
How's the rental price?
I'm okay right now because I got in at a good time. Just before, like the past year, everything's increased.
We're always wondering, what do people do? How come they can sit down and enjoy the sunlight on a working day?
I start work at 6:30. I'm an industrial pipe welder. I have a shop in Burnaby.
Do you own?
I owned here at Marina side here when it was first built. Now I live just on the other side in another Concord.
You're the opposite of everybody else we interviewed today. Most people, they live outside of downtown and they come to work.
I've lived here for 23 years now.
When did you buy your apartment?
1998.
I have to ask this question. How much was your apartment?
$420 for a 2-bedroom.
Right now, how much would you say the same apartment will
It's
go
over
for?
$1 million. I got a mortgage for 3 years for 3.75. And you couldn't beat it.
We've talked to so many people, younger people, especially our age or below. If they're renting, they're barely breaking even.
I feel a lot for the younger people trying to get into the market today. It's pretty tough. And even back in my day, we had to put a third down almost on buying a place.
What can they do to be in a good place like you?
Save. Put your money in a bank. Give yourself a few years before you decide on something. Hey, maybe things will come down a little bit. Don't go and put everything in one basket.
Don't go from 0 to try to go to 100. Build your way up slowly.
Look at today. Everybody wants everything. Car and the boat right away. It's social media. Be honest with yourself. Be honest with your partner.
Have a plan. Have a 10-year plan. Have a 20-year plan.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think that's really good advice. How come you're not at work? What do you do?
Today I went on a job interview with Sephora.
Just graduate? Fresh
I
graduate.
study mathematics.
Where do you live?
I live in downtown.
Renting or own?
Own.
You're so young to own your own place.
Yep. I'm working on the stock market, so I make my own money.
Nice. How much you're paying every month for mortgage?
3,000
When did you purchase your apartment?
last year. The housing prices before it was skyrocketing, but according to RBC Bank, the housing prices will go down because of the inflation. I would say the market bottom it will be at June 2024.
Sounds like you should be in real estate and not in Sephora, not in fashion.
I got 55-year history here in Vancouver.
When was your most recent real estate purchase or
About
sale?
5 years ago.
You bought at a really good time actually.
Knowing by experience, eventually the real estate will go up again.
Do you feel we're overvalued?
I think the real estate is overpriced. We had a lot of people coming here from different countries who paid cash over and above that what the real value is. The local people, because of that, suffered.
What do you think can be done to kind of address the issue?
We got to build more homes. I mean, you see what is going on downtown Hastings. You know, there's people who unfortunately ended up not affording homes at today's prices. I think we got to look after them. And I think we should have some system affordable for people.
It's an issue of limited supply and so much demand, right? Because Vancouver is so popular, everybody wants to be here. What are some advice that you give to younger generations? What can they do to get into real estate?
To put gradually everyday money on the side. Eventually using it as a down payment and get involved in real estate.
Have the habit of saving, and when the opportunity presents itself, like right now on the downturn, there's our chance.
I work and live in Vancouver. I'm one of the privileged few.
How do you feel about the real estate market today?
It's a good thing actually that Vancouver is growing. This is a topic that's dear to my heart. I am a director of DigiBC and we advocate technology in this province. We very much want to attract talent from all over the world. We need to find a way for them to get here and be comfortable being here. Vancouver is not much different than other major metropolitan areas around the world. We're not a Paris, we're not a London, and we're not a New York, but we are growing up. What they all have and what we are now cultivating here is a way for people to commute into the city to work, but not have to live here and pay the very high rents and costs.
Would you say we're overpriced?
Relative to wages, etc., we are overpriced, and we have not caught up on the wage element yet.
A lot of people compare Vancouver price apartment dollar per square foot to say New York, LA, to Seattle. That's not really apples to apples. The living wage, what people make on average, the industry there, they're completely different.
But I do think that our prices are much too high. This will force people to work out into the outer regions. BC is a very large province. We don't all have to be right within the major metropolitan areas. Even Victoria is seriously underexploited in terms of its technology sector, and the interior is burgeoning and growing, and we have schools now in Prince George and in Dawson Creek. And I think we're going to see a spreading out of the population across the general province. That should help.
So not necessarily making the houses in Vancouver cheaper, but because of technology, people can actually afford to work further away from the town center.
Yes, and it would be nice too. Seattle has a burgeoning rental market. Vancouver is lacking a rental market. That's very contributory to our current circumstance. And I understand a lot of very good people are working hard to actually develop rental units here in Vancouver. That'll help tremendously.
I moved to Vancouver in June of this year. Before that, I had spent a year in Edmonton on a work assignment, and I'm actually from Phoenix, Arizona, Scottsdale area.
Are you here for work assignment?
I am with the company that I'm working with, but I'm going to be here for the next 4 or 5 years at a minimum.
Are you living in downtown right now?
I live in downtown, right on Georgia Street.
Renting, or you bought a place?
Renting a condo on Georgia Street, right.
Thinking about buying?
Maybe not in this market right now with the economic situation. I'm not sure it's the best time to invest, and we don't know which direction the market's going to go at this time. Probably rent for a while, depending on how the market turns, maybe down the road.
How much are you spending on rent right now?
It's quite expensive here, as you know. 3-bedroom condo is about $6,000 a month.
Do you think we're overpriced?
Compared to other big cities that I've lived in, the Bay Area and San Francisco, New York City and some other areas, it's very similar. Or if you compare it to some of the international cities, if you go to Tokyo, you go to Shanghai, Beijing, Singapore, other areas. So it's in line with those types of cities, but it's certainly more expensive than elsewhere in the western part of Canada and then in most of the US. So the prices are quite high, and it's hard for people like some of the employees I have that are moving here from Edmonton. They're going to live east in Burnaby or Surrey, other areas where it's more affordable for them.
So in other words, it is high, but it's not overpriced.
Depending on your location here, it's very similar to some of the other world's largest cities in areas that are very popular to live in. And so you're going to pay a premium to live there. But if you can get outside of the city, then it becomes more affordable.
我们今天的街访就到这边为止啦，下次再见，拜拜。你知道做街访其实没有想象中是那么容易，你控场能力是要蛮强的，因为你让人家一直继续讲下去的话，整个就很失控，然后讲到最后他们的情绪会整个呆掉，就是，yeah。